It finally happened. The Blackhawks finally traded Connor Murphy, and he goes to the Edmonton Oilers, half retained for a 2028 second round pick. Welcome back to the Blackhawks Conversation. If you are new here, I'm here after every single Chicago Blackhawks game, doing an in-depth analysis post-game show. I'm also live right here on YouTube for every single Chicago Blackhawks game, so be sure to subscribe for that. It's a ton of fun. We have a really fun, small community of Blackhawks fans here that's growing really fast, so be sure to subscribe to be a part of that. It's a ton of fun. Anyway, we're not here to talk about a live stream. We're here to talk about the Connor Murphy trade. Um, yeah, we knew this trade was coming for a long time, obviously. He's one of the bigger UFAs on the team, him and Jason Dickinson, who I expect to be the next guy to go. Um, so yeah, Connor Murphy finally gets traded, and like I said, it's 50% retained to the Oilers. Connor Murphy's contract is 4.4, so the Oilers are only taking on 2.2. There's a train going by my house, so I apologize if you can hear that. Um, and it's in exchange for a 2028 second. And I love this trade. I'm just going to say it right off the bat. From a Hawks perspective, I like this trade. I also don't mind it from an Oilers perspective. I don't cover the Oilers. I've never been an Oilers fan, so maybe they know something I don't about their team. But I think there's no reason not to like it for them because in Connor Murphy, you're getting a 6'4" right-handed defenseman, big right-handed defenseman who is a solid, reliable shutdown defenseman. You can match him up against almost anybody, and he's going to make the safe, reliable, smart play in the defensive zone. He can kill penalties. He's very reliable that way. He's not afraid to throw the body. Every few games, you'll catch him throwing a massive hit, and he's certainly not afraid to drop the glove, especially when it comes to defending a teammate. Because this guy, yeah, he's not afraid to go anybody. And it's especially when it comes to defending a teammate because this guy's leadership skills are unmatched. I mean, he's a great leader on the ice, and he's someone that I think is going to help Edmonton a lot in the final stretch of this season and in their playoff push. He brings a lot to the ice. Not to mention the fact that he is a right-handed defenseman, which is automatically kind of makes him on the more valuable side, especially right now in the NHL. So the Oilers are getting a I can't say enough good things about Connor Murphy. The Oilers are getting a really, really good defenseman that's going to help them. And I say really, really good. Obviously, he's not like a superstar defenseman, but really, really good for a bottom pair shutdown guy who brings experience, leadership, that veteran presence. Um, there's just so much he brings to the table, and let's focus on what the Hawks get here. Obviously, the Hawks get a 2028 second round pick. And I really like this. And the reason I really like this is not just because of the fact that it's a second round pick, but I like that Kyle Davidson is going after draft picks from drafts that are down the line. Because think about what the Hawks have and what they've done in the past. They have been stockpiling draft picks, top end draft picks, second and first mostly, for a few years now. So they have an abundance of first, second, and third round draftees in their pipeline right now. And not to mention for this upcoming draft, they have two first, 3 seconds, a third, a fourth, and two sevenths. So they not only the past couple years have they been stockpiled, they still are for this upcoming 2026 draft. So, what does acquiring say a 2026 second round pick do for you if you're the Blackhawks right now? It only adds to the overflowing bucket of prospects who all have similar timelines right now, the same couple year timelines because they're all, first, second, and third round picks from the past three years. So if you acquire, like I said, a 2026 second round pick, you're just adding to that overabundance of prospects. But by acquiring a 2028 second round pick, the way I like to put it is you're helping the future's future. These guys that you've drafted in the 23, 24, 25 draft, they're going to help you in a couple years, hopefully. Um, but a guy, a second round pick in 2028, he might not help you till 2030, 2031. So I think it's really good. And then also what it does is it opens up more trade possibilities too. Like in a couple years, if the Hawks are ideally competitive in say 2028, well, that's a bonus second round pick you now have to trade out to bring in talent that'll help you now to help you win, and you still have your own 2028 second. So all around, I really like this move from Kyle Davidson. Retaining 2.2 doesn't move me at all in any way. I mean, it's just for the rest of the year and it's 2.2. It that to me that just doesn't matter. It is what it is. It just helps you get the deal done with Edmonton and it allows you to get that second round pick. So on the Hawks end, I love it. I think if you're an Oilers fan, again, I don't cover the Oilers. I don't watch the Oilers a ton, but from what I'm looking at, my perspective, I feel there's no reason for the Oilers not to like this trade. I think, like I said, the only reason they might not is I would think maybe they're unfamiliar with Connor Murphy's game because he's not a big name. He's not a flashy name. He's a veteran, but he brings a lot to the table, and he doesn't go very recognized around the NHL for what he actually brings, and he brings a lot, and he was very very valued by the fans, the players, and the organization in Chicago. So, Oilers fans, if any Oilers fans are watching this, you're getting a player that I would say is worth a 2028 second in terms of helping your playoff push this year. Um, but something exciting that this does is Connor Murphy wore an A. And my mind immediately goes to, well, now we have an available A on the jersey. Uh, they got to put it on Bedard, right? I mean, look at the way he played when he had an A on his sweater. He fell right into that leadership role, and I know he says in interviews that having a letter on his jersey doesn't change his approach, doesn't change the way he plays. Um, but it does. I think it clearly does. We saw the way he played at the beginning of the year when uh, there was that spot open to wear a letter. He had the A for a while. When Dickinson and Foligno were out there, they crossed a bit. So I think it's got to be you got to put it on guard, right? So that's exciting. We could see Connor Bedard with an A on his jersey again for the rest of the year, and if they slap an A on Connor Bedard's jersey as a result of this trade, this may be the last time we've ever seen Bedard without a letter. I mean, it's possible. If he wears that A for the rest of this year, he's certainly going to have an A next year, if not the C. And we that's a whole other conversation of whether or not he should get the captaincy next year, but you obviously can't rule it out as a possibility quite yet. We'll see what happens. Um, what this does for the lineup though is interesting. Um, there's a little bit depending on when Kaiser comes back. Kaiser obviously skated a few days ago. They play tomorrow in Winnipeg. It seems like he's pretty close. He might play tomorrow. I mean, no one's come out and said like he might play tomorrow, but just observing the timeline and the fact that he's on the ice and everything, I think you know he could play tomorrow. They're Blashill could say in the morning Kaiser's a go. We don't know. If he's not, I picture the D pairings looking something like Vlasic Crevier, Grzyk, Levshinov, Korchinski, Rinzel. My issue with this is that Korchinski, Rinzel third pairing does scare me. So you could do something like Vlasic, Rinzel because that worked at the end of last year. Grzyk, Levshinov, and then a Korchinski, Crevier to kind of give Korchinski that help defensively. So that might be even what I would lean to more so than the Crevier with Vlasic and Rinzel with Korchinski. And then when Kaiser comes back, like I said, it might even be as soon as tomorrow. Who knows? Um, then I would kind of envision something like a Vlasic Crevier, Kaiser Levshinov, and Grzyk Rinzel. And then you have Korchinski as your seventh. And if you've watched my show for a while, you know I've gone on record many times and said I think Kevin Korchinski should be playing most, if not all, of this final stretch of hockey in the NHL. So it might seem contradictory that I have him now listed as my seventh defenseman, but I mean, I don't know who you take out. You don't just take out anybody else, especially on the left side. You're not taking out Vlasic, Kaiser, or Grzelcyk. So do you do you rotate him and Grzelcyk in? But then you face the issue of you have an all kid blue line, which it's risky. I don't know if you do that. Do you play some guys on their offside, and do you do a rotation, a Korchinski, Rinzel, Levshinov kind of ongoing rotation? I don't know, because you're not pulling Vlasic, obviously. You're not pulling Kaiser. The only guy on that left side I could see being part of a rotation would be Matt Grzelcyk, but like I said, you then run the risk of an all under 24 blue line, which maybe they'll do. I mean, Kyle Davidson is very clear about wanting to hand over the team to the kids, so that could be a possibility. We'll see. We'll find out, I guess, tomorrow in Winnipeg, potentially. I took to Twitter after this trade went down and I asked, what are people's initial reactions? And we have a few here. Rob says, a second for Murphy is a solid A. I agree. Sergey says so many predicting he'd go to the Stars, so a little surprising, but it's still a fitting end. He gets to go to the playoffs. Hawks get a solid second rounder. It all makes sense. Hawks defensive kiddos may have needed him a little longer, but it's okay. Wish him well. Yeah, I think you summed it up great. I agree. I'm super happy for Connor Murphy. There's no one more deserving of a chance to play for a Stanley Cup than Connor Murphy. So yeah, I agree with both Sergey and Rob on that. I think they summed it up well. If you're new here, like I said, I do an in-depth Blackhawks post-game show after every single game. I'm also live right here on YouTube after every single Chicago Blackhawks game. Nope, I'm also live right here on YouTube for every single Chicago Blackhawks game. Sorry, I'm on autopilot right now. That's all from me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you tomorrow in Winnipeg.